Okay, chapter 8, let's go ahead and work on fixing that test. Number 1, numbers 1 and 2, you always name a 3D figure after its base. So what shape is the base here? And what shape is the base here? Write those words down first. And then if it comes to one point at the top, it's a pyramid. And if it has two parallel bases, it's a prism. Once again, on number 1, name it after its base. The name of the base first. What's the shape? What's the shape of that base? If it comes to one point at the top, it's a pyramid. If it has two parallel bases, it's a prism. Okay, took care of that one. Number 2. Number 2, these are the nets, okay? They are the 3D figures if you pulled them apart and made them flat. But the concept is still the same for number 2 as it is for number 1. It's named after the base first. So what is the base? Okay. On this one, okay, let's just go over this one first. What is the base? And it has triangular faces, so you know it's going to come up to 1 point. So if it's 1 point, you should know if that's a pyramid or a prism. The second one here, the base is not in the center. It has two parallel bases right here, right? Two parallel bases. You name it after these bases? And because there's two parallel bases, it's a prism. Go ahead and name that one. Okay, number 3. Name the solid and find the number of faces, edges, and vertices of that solid. Okay, first of all, the name of the solid. It has two parallel bases in the shape of a triangle. Put the name of the shape first. Triangle first. It does not come to 1 point. It has two parallel bases, so it's a prism. Faces for this are the flat surfaces. How many flat surfaces? This is like a Toblerone bar. It has 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. How many total faces is that? Write it in. Edges. These are like your straight lines here, the edges. So look, 1, 2, 3 for that triangle, 3 for the other triangle. Write it in. Vertices are where all the edges come to meet to a point. You've got a point right here, 1. You got a point right here, 2. You have a point right here, 3. And there's 3 on the other side. So how many vertices? Okay, number 4, it was kind of tricky, I'll say, to draw these, but it's a rectangular pyramid, so the base has to be a what? Has to be a rectangle, so draw your rectangle first. And it comes up to a point, right? Connect that point to each one of the corners of your rectangle, and you have the 3D representation. The net, you draw your base first. It's still a rectangle. Because it's a pyramid, coming off of each edge, you're going to have a triangle. So make your 4 triangles around there, and you'll be done with that. Okay, we took care of this problem. Number 5, it's a square pyramid. We've got to find the surface area of the square pyramid. In order to do that, we have to find the area of the square first. The square I see is 5 by 5. 5 times 5. Write your answer for 5 times 5. Then you have 4 triangles that are the same everywhere, because these are all 5. Base times height, cut it in half. Base times height, cut it in half. 5 times 8, cut your answer in half, and there's 4 of those. 5 times 8, cut it in half, there's 4 of those, plus the area of your square. So you have the area of your square, what it equals. Then you have the area of the 4 triangles, what it equals, and you add them together to get your final answer. Remember, the answer will be in feet squared. Took care of this problem. Number 6, surface area of a triangular prism. Okay, let's take care of the triangles first. You've got 4 by 3, right? 4 times 3, cut it in half. 4 times 3, cut it in half. There's 2 of those. Okay, 4 times 3 is 12, right? What's half of 12? 6, and there's 2 of those. 6 plus 6, write your answer right here. So the 2 triangles, put your answer down. And then you've got 3 rectangular bases. One is 3 times 7. Put your answer to that right here. One you can see is 5 times 7. Put your answer right here. And if this is 7 right here, this is a parallel line that's 7 also. Your last base is 7 times 4. Put your answer right here. You add all those together, and you have your total, and it should be in centimeters squared. Okay, we took care of this problem. Turning it right on over. Number 7. One of the points in number 7 was to label this. Some of you guys forgot to do that. Okay? It says the game piece is 10 millimeters long, so I put my 10 in right here. It says the base of the piece is an equilateral triangle with 5 millimeter sides. So 5, 5, 5, and that the height of this triangle is 3. So, it's like a Toblerone bar. I see that it has 3 of the same rectangles. The rectangles are 10 times 5. What is 10 times 5? It's 50, right? But there's 3 of those. 50, 100, 150. There's 3 of those, right? And then you have to add the 2 triangles. Don't forget your 2 triangles. Base times height. 5 times 3. 15, and if you don't cut it in half, then it counts for both triangles. So if you add these 2 numbers together, you'll have your answer. Remember, your answer needs to be in millimeters squared. Okay, number 8. A lot of you didn't label the 3D figure right here. A lot of you didn't label this figure. That was part of what you had to do. All these rectangles are 8, the base times height. 8 times 3. 24, there's another one, 24, there's another one, 24, there's another one, 24. Okay, these squares are 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Add all these numbers together, and you'll have the total surface area in inches squared. By the way, since there's 4 24s, I would go 24 times 4 for that one. And I would go 9 times 2 for the other 2, and add those 2 answers together to get this. Okay? Done with this one. Number 9. Surface area of this prism right here. Okay? First, let's take this base. It's 3 times 4. What is 3 times 4? It's 12, right? But there's 1 here and 1 above it. So 12 plus 12, 24, right? Here off to the right side, I see a rectangle that's 4 times 5. That's 20. But there's 2 of them, which makes 40. And then there's a rectangle right in front of us. If this is 5 right here, this is also 5 right here. 3 times 5 is 15, but there's 2 of them. That makes 30. Add all these together and you have your total surface area in feet squared. Okay, number 10 is a volume. Volume we know is length times width times height. Okay? I see this 2.5 and we're doubling it times 2. So 2.5 doubled is 5, right? If you go 5 times 3, you have your answer. And it's in meters cubed because it's meters times meters times meters. Took care of that problem. Number 11, how many 1-inch cubes are needed to create a rectangular prism? That's 7 inches long, 3 inches wide, 4 inches high. Once again, it's volume. We know that volume is length times width times height, and I just told you how to do that. 7 times 3 times 4. I might go this way. What's 4 times 3? Get your answer. What's that answer times 7? And voila, you have this, and you should see the answer on one of these right here. Okay, question number 12. How much sand is needed to fill a sandbox? Well, I know that's volume because I'm filling something, right? And it's still length times width times height. It's 3 times 2.5 is not going to work. We got to make that an improper fraction. So I go 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Keep the same denominator, 5 halves. Times 1/2. If I multiply straight across, I have my answer. 3 times 5 times 1 equals. And 1 times 2 times 2 equals. And it's in feet cubed because it's volume. Number 14, a lot of people forgot to put the equation here. Okay, volume equals length times width times height. And you put down what you know. It says the volume is 480, so instead of V, I write 480. It says that the width is 6, and it says that the length is 8. Well, 6 times 8 is 48. Got that part done. Okay? But I don't know the height. So you say, what times 48 gives me 480? What times 48 gives me 480? Okay, if you don't know, you can go railroad track, circle the variable, opposite operation, right? So if I go 480 divided by 48, and a lot of you put the answer as 1. It's not. You've got to go all the way through the 0. Okay? And your answer should be in just inches, right? Because you're missing just one piece. Okay, last one. A raised gardening bed contains 16 cubic feet of dirt. Once again, where volume equals length times width times height. They gave you the volume as 16. And 2 of the pieces we need are 4 and 8. 4 times 8 is 32. Okay? So we're finding really the depth, but we're going to call it height. Same thing, but it's going below, right? So we've got 16 equals 32. Well, it's the same procedure. Railroad track, circle the variable, opposite operation. 16 over 32 can be simplified to one of these fractions over here. Which one? Choose it. Thanks for fixing your test. Appreciate it so much. Have a great day.